Live? Okay, perfect. All right, we will officially call the June 5th Planning Commission meeting to order. Thank you all for being in attendance tonight. First thing that we will do is we will go through our roll call to make sure that we have quorum. So I will go down the list of commissioners. When you hear your name, please say present, or just acknowledge that you're here. First, Commissioner Cheryl Davis. She's not here. Commissioner Jeanette Hardy.
Present.
Commissioner Robin Meyer.
Present.
Commissioner Andres Miller.
Present.
Commissioner Dante Philpott, that would be me, and I am here. Commissioner Carl Valenzano.
Present.
And Commissioner Venice Walker. She's not here. Okay, so we do have a quorum, so we are officially we're officially moving. So we'll go to number 3 on the meeting agenda. Number 3 is approval of last month's minutes from the May 6th Planning Commission meeting. So I will open it to any of the commissioners. I know internally there was some conversation with regards to the minutes and edits, so I will open it to any and all commissioners that want to make amendments or edits to the minutes.
Mr. Wheeler, I had made some changes or made some suggested edits to the minutes. Did you receive those?
Yes, ma'am. I will take those minutes and edit it and accordingly.
And I copied my fellow commissioners, so if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Yes, you did. And give me just a second because I want to get to those minutes, or your edits, I should say.
While you're looking, one other question. Since we adopted our procedures, should those procedures be attached to the minutes?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Good point. Yes, ma'am. I'll make sure to keep doing that.
So question, to that point, those, the procedures, if I remember correctly, they were voted on and approved by city council at the last meeting. So would they still need to be attached? Or
No, so those are the ordinances. The
okay.
minutes are, that's something for you guys, so those don't go to the city
Okay.
council, but yes, those need to be attached to the minutes correctly.
All right, I'm trying to find your email. I cannot find, okay. While I'm looking for that now, I'll go back to it in just a minute. There was one amendment that I wanted to make to go into the final version of the minutes. If I can pull this up. The minutes made mention that, if I can get to it, that Chairman Philpott and Commissioner Vice Chair Myers questioned the applicant regarding the building elevation designed, and then Commissioner Vice Chair questioned staff regarding landscape. Okay, so it's the first one. Is it possible to make the amendment that a request was made to have elevations included with the applicant with the full application packet?
I'll go back and look at the minutes. I'm just trying to transcribe exactly what the conversation was about. So I will take it back and look at it. And if that's the case, then I will change it.
Okay, not a problem. And just a sec, I'm so trying to find your minutes edits.
So will we vote on these minutes tonight, or will you bring back revised minutes for us?
No, so you will vote not to approve them with until the corrections are made by staff, and then we'll submit those again with the previous minutes.
Okay. Yep. And we also need minutes from our May 6th
Yeah.
meeting.
Yes, ma'am. Yep.
April, sorry. Our April 1st meeting.
Yep. Yes, ma'am. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so I see that you made the edit about the proposed recite. No, that's the wrong one. Sorry, I gotta go back up. There we are. And here, I think that was pretty. Okay. That's okay. That's the wrong one. Okay. Any other questions with regards to amendments or edits to the minutes from the May 6th meeting? No? Okay. All right.
So you would like a motion
To table the minutes until staff has made the corrections suggested by Commissioner Myers.
Okay.
I'd be happy to make a motion that we table the May 6th meeting minutes until corrections have been made by the staff.
All right, we have a motion.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Second by Commissioner Hardy. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. Motion carries. All right, and we will move to number 4, which is unfinished business for rezoning of Z 2025-01, 550 Lions Club Drive, rezoning from GC to R20, TKHC Ministries. Let me just pull this up here. Now, point of order, we're still gonna have public comment section?
Yes, sir.
10 minutes, pro and against, or pro and oppose, I should say?
Yes, sir. I have a small script I will read right after my presentation. I'll read off my phone the public hearing standards and procedures and so forth. That kind of written up, just kind of general acknowledgement of how this is going to go tonight.
Okay, perfect. Then I'll turn it over to you for your presentation.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Planning Commissioners. The only item on the agenda is a holdover from the May 6th Planning Commission meeting. The applicant is TKH Ministries. The case number is Z25-01. The applicant is TKH Ministries. They have a rezoning application before you tonight for consideration to rezone the 550 Lions Club Drive and Lions Club Drive, parcel IDs 17007000100 and 17010700480 from general commercial to R20 for the establishment of a church facility. And previously this item was heard. The Planning Commission did request additional information to be submitted for consideration. Again, this is an aerial map of the subject property. Again, the dashed line represents the properties. Again, you can see the general commercial, and then aerial photo with the star in between it is, again, just an aerial photo of the established proposed the subject properties. This is the proposed site plan, as you previously known. This is the proposed landscape plan. Previously, the landscape plan was not submitted in your previous packet from last month. This is the one they submitted. Again, for the record, what's on the actual website is an old iteration of their landscape plan. This is the current iteration of the landscape plan matching the proposed site plan. Previously, the applicant had a different layout, but getting comments back from Cobb County, they decided to redo that. And with this this previous layout, and this is the landscape plan to match that. This map here is just an aerial map showing that the applicant is located in the Veterans Memorial Highway overlay. In the previous meeting, there was discussion where was the applicant's properties located in the that overlay corridor. Specifically, the applicant's property is located within a node, specifically a half a mile of a node. In the Veterans Memorial Design Standards, any property that's located within a half mile of a major intersection is applicable and has to adhere to those the architectural standards, other standards required in the Veterans Memorial Design Guidelines. So this plan is just to kind of illustrate that ES is rudimentary, but to kind of get the point across that they are located within that half-mile node. And I did provide the first couple of pages of the Veterans Memorial Design Guidelines, as well as I emailed that to the planning commissioners.
Quick question, if I may.
Yes, sir.
Would you mind going back to the previous slide?
Yes, sir.
For me, it looks orange. I don't know
Yeah,
what color it looks like. So that the orange line with the 0.38 miles, that is to indicate the distance that the site is from the major arterial roadway, which is Veterans Memorial Highway 78.
And yes, sir. So the intersection of Veterans Memorial and Mableton Parkway.
Okay.
Yeah. So the orange dash line indicates the distance.
Okay.
This is the proposed elevations that the applicant submitted to it. The applicant can provide you more detail as far as the design, makeup, and so forth.
Okay.
Again, the staff is recommending approval with the list of 9 conditions. However, staff would like to amend that the number 10 should include comments from Department of Transportation as well too. An applicant is here. Before you do open up the public hearing, and also I ask you, do hold your questions until after the applicant has spoken, because your questions may have been answered at that time. And before you open up the hearing, Commissioner Philpott, I would like to read just a few words, just so people are familiar of how the process goes during the public hearing. As each agenda item is brought forth, the city staff will present the applications, the background of the property involved, and provide recommendations. After staff has presented the application, the applicant or applicant's agents will give his or her presentation of the item. The applicant's time is limited to a total of 10 minutes. The applicant may designate any remaining time for rebuttal to any opposition for the application. All registered speakers who wish to speak in favor of the application will then be heard and will also be limited to 10 minutes total, not each. Once the applicant has been made his or her presentation to the board, the pro-applicant speakers have been heard. The chair will then call upon the registered speakers who wish to speak against the application. The opposition shall likewise be limited to 10 minutes total, 2 minutes total, not each. After the public comments have been heard, the planning commission members will then discuss the request amongst themselves. Upon motion and second by members of the commission, an action on the application may be taken to approve, deny, withdraw, reduce the land area is ordered for or table for which the applicant is made, changing the zoning district requested or imposed conditions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, we will open the hearing for public comment. So anyone that is speaking, I'm sorry.
The applicant is here to do their presentation.
Okay, I'm sorry, applicant.
Good evening,
Good evening.
everyone. You have a packet with you on tonight, so I'm gonna just be going through that, just to kind of, bring you aware of the current Lions Club Drive, what we look like today versus, what we're trying to do in the future. So, I'm on the third page. It kind of tells you about our why and what we bring to the table.
I'm sorry, if you can introduce yourselves for those who weren't present at the last meeting.
Sure. I am Pastor Teresa Goggins of Thy Kingdom Has Come International Ministries. We have been pastoring, my husband and I, for 18 years in the Cobb County area. Some of our leaders are here with us on this evening as well, so our elders and some of our ministers are here. I want to start on the third page where it says Veterans Memorial. Just giving you a look at our future home site. It tells you that one of the reasons you have two copies of the older architectural plans, which we designed, Cobb County rejected that and changed the capacity of the church from 325 seater to 200. So now we're down to 200, and because we do not have running water pipes under the ground to Lions Club Drive, so we on septic tanks. So we can only, house a certain amount. So we went down from 325 to 200. So that's the reason that the building changed from the first architect plan that we paid a lot of money into, down to, we downsized to get this vision up and running. So it kind of shows that we have no running water on Lions Club. So, we have to do the septic tank. So that changed a lot of our plans. So I want to bring clarity to why you have two different landscape plans. So that should bring clarity to that. Also on this street in this community is the motel complex. We are complex regarding the overlay because nothing on the street has overlay. So we're just concerned about putting a all brick building, which would be over $1 million for us to build, into a neighborhood where there are mobile homes and such. So we want you to get a good look at what it looks like in this neighborhood. So this hotel, which house people that a lot of times that our church feed and do different things and look after in this community. But this is a hotel that stays very busy at the front of the street. And then you can see the car wash, and then the Cobb County, this is what's on the street. So it kind of gives you a visual of what's happening and how we're trying to change this community and update it and bring it a better level to this community. And poverty in this area you will see as well. South Cobb Community Center, we're just taking you down to our property, which we purchased in 2021, September 2021. There are power grids across from our property. You see the South Cobb Community Center, which is a metal building with a brick front. You can kind of see an abandoned building next door to us, which I think has been a potential soccer complex indoor. We don't know if that was approved by you guys or not, but that's what we're told that's going next door to us. Thy Kingdom Has Come Ministries is next door. If you look on the page that says June 3rd, 2025, unhoused Mableton residents living in the power grid across the street from our property. This is a consistent problem. So we're talking about building $1 million building with these type of issues on this street. As you see, we keep our property well groomed as much as possible, but we have a tremendous homeless problem that dump everything from mattresses to beds to boats, you name it, we've cleaned it up. We've also partnered with Georgia Power, who own the grids on our property as well. They spent over $200,000 cleaning this property up as well. This also notes our area shot for our property. Now it's all grass, but it was clear at one time. So you can kind of see and give you an idea of what Lions Club Drive, because I know we live in the community, but people don't normally go in the back of Lions Club and have a visual of what that really looks like. I want to just share also the unhoused encampment of Mableton that lives on the property. If you're not familiar, there's drug activity. There's also, they call it Tent City. So these homeless people actually live on the property that we pay mortgage on every month and pay taxes on property taxes as well to Cobb County. This gives you an actual visual of the architectural design for our mock-up. This is what our building should look like from the front. I know last time you wanted to know what it looked like, so this is what we're not bringing any kind of building to this area. Again, we're trying to transition this neighborhood into something better. Gives you the full mock-up. Of course, this was the original design. After Cobb County denied it, we had to change down, move our down to a 200-seater. So we're kind of had to redo everything. It also gives you an overview of the unhoused encampment of, it shows you the tents that they live on our property. This is consistent. We have had asked Mableton Police Department to come and they have evicted these people. We have signed all kind of letters to say we don't give anyone permission to live on our property, but they kick them off and they're right back there. And they sell drugs at nighttime and do whatever they want to do. Of course, we can't have 24-hour watch, people watching the area, so we just depend on Mableton Police, who we pay taxes to keep this area safe for us until we can get an LP license to some type to clean this area up for good. It also shows you we have spent thousands of dollars into cleaning this area up. That means we hired a cleaning company to come remove mattresses, trash, grocery carts, you name it, they dump it there. And we have paid thousands of dollars, the church, the nonprofit church has, to keep this area clean, because we're often coded by your zoning department saying that we're not proper owners of the land and we don't keep it. I've even been to court over it for the homeless, taking us to court, because this has been going on for 3 years. We stayed in Cobb County trying to get a permit to build for 3 years before getting to Mableton City. Headed back down the road here, as you can see, We own both of those lots. Any signage or anything we put up on this land is immediately torn down. If we put a sign up, say, do not dump, do not litter, it's immediately torn down. A lot of the community will not call, which is the mobile homes down the street, they will not call Cobb County until it's literally full of trash. They never say who's doing it, but they only call and complain for us to come clean it up. And we've said, so now I'm waiting on a court date because, in front of a jury trial, because at this point, we're frustrated with, the lack of helping from Cobb County where it comes to, we're saying, look, we can't keep putting thousands of dollars into this land, and we're trying to get a permit to build to clean it up, but we can't keep cleaning up the homeless tent area. We just can't do it. And just to show you the residence, I know most of you want to know how many feet is in within the residence. The only residence on the street is the mobile homes that you see there. And a lot of them are, their yards, front yards are very junky. I mean, I don't know if they're up to code as well in keeping that area clean. In my closing, my only concern with, in the last page, you see that someone just dumped a boat over there. A boat, and then we're just concerned about the fire hydrant that has grass growing around it, so we don't know if that needs to be checked as well. For that. So that, we just want to bring you guys as the commissioners up to date with what's happening in our neck of the woods. We have worked this community for 18 years. We've served it. We fed, we've clothed people in this community, and we're not tired yet, and we're not gonna let down on our vision. If we can't build here, we'll build somewhere else. So, but we want to make sure that we exalt every area in this area. We want to build on this land because we purchased it. But if we can't, we're still going to serve the citizens, the underprivileged citizens of Cobb County. That's our desire and that's our goal. I will open up for any questions at this time that you have for me or anyone on my team would like to speak at this time. We also have Z, who is with Watts and Brownings, our civil engineers here tonight as well, if you have questions for him. Thank you.
Mr. Willard, so I'm not sure how much time is left.
11 seconds.
Oh, okay. 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 That doesn't leave us a lot of time for questions. In the interest of fairness, we will have to open the floor up for anyone here in opposition to TKHC Ministries. Anyone here in opposition of TKHC Ministries? Okay, Mr. Willard, doesn't appear that anyone is here to speak in opposition.
Yes, sir. So the applicant can, well, I mean, since there's no opposition, then you can close the public hearing, and then you can have either ask questions for staff or from the applicant itself.
Okay. So at this point, I'd like to close the public hearing and open it up for any of the commissioners to ask questions. And I'm going to assume that the questions are going to be directed at staff and applicant, but I don't know for sure. So the floor is open for any questions from any commissioners.
Chairman, if I could begin, I actually have a question for the applicant, if she or a representative could come back up to the podium. First of all, I'd like to thank you for your presentation that you did provide us with. It is very thorough, and I appreciate your concerns about the area. In your statement, though, you said that the elevations that were shown, which is a front elevation and a side elevation, were of the original plan structure, which was a little bigger. Mm-hmm. Now that you've had to downsize to a smaller structure, will the facade be relatively similar? Will it still be the same materials that it shows here and look, or is that going to change as well?
The front will be the same. We were, with the capacity of 200, we were thinking of going with the metal building and just putting the brick on the front.
I don't have any further questions at this time.
Okay. Floor is open.
If I could ask a question. So,
Is a question to the applicant or staff?
to the applicant.
Okay.
So the architectural design that was in your presentation, so am I understanding correctly that the smaller building will still have the same appearance from the street, or will it be a different design?
Same appearance from the front, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Question to the applicant. I am looking at the updated site plan that you provided. And I'm hoping that this is updated, and forgive me if it's not. The landscape design that you have, it looks like there's trees planted. I guess, are they islands within the parking lot?
Okay, that would be Z.
Okay, that's fine. That's okay.
I have no idea.
That's okay.
Sorry, I'm Z. Yeah, those are shade trees within the islands.
The reason I ask is because I see the tree types, and I guess one of the concerns or issues could potentially be, I think a few of those on the list are what they call water seekers. And over time, it could potentially buckle the pavement, just from own personal experience and what I've observed. So I don't know if that's something that you guys want to take a look at, maybe moving them. I don't know that having the trees in the islands, or I guess located in the islands, in the parking lot, because that's eventually going to lead to more things that have to be taken care of. So that may be something to consider. I don't know if it's the largest thing that you have to worry about, but that is something to consider, because that's future maintenance that either you or, at some point the city would have to get involved with. Hopefully not, but that's something for consideration. Sorry, I'm just taking a look here. Yeah, that one was fine. Oops. Okay, I'll leave it open for any other questions, commissioner questions. I had one in my head, now I'm having to go back and
I do
look
have
at my
a
notes.
question
Go ahead.
for the applicant. Looking at the mock-up, it was my understanding during our last session that you said a portion of this was stucco. Can you tell me about what percentage?
What percentage?
Yes.
It would be sides and back, and the front would be the brick finish.
So the sides and the back are fully stucco?
Yes, I believe so. And if the brick would be halfway, it's not a full height of the building, the brick, it would be like, I don't know, 3-4 feet up.
A follow-up question about the look of the building. Then, so the brick would be, there would be like a water table of brick on the sides, but the front would be, how much brick is on the front and how much stucco is on the front?
Can you pull up that? Yeah, the brick is gonna be like, halfway up or a few feet up, and the rest is gonna be stuck.
So 50%?
Yeah, you see the brown line there?
Yeah, the
Yes,
brown line
yes,
represents the
okay.
brick.
It's my reading of the design guidelines that the front facade has to be predominantly brick, and that stucco is limited to 25%. Is this facade amenable to increasing the amount of brick?
We will meet whatever the code requires, unless you guys wanna waive. I mean, the church is trying to help the community, and we're trying to keep the cost down as much as possible. So the brick is expensive, so if we can keep the brick to a minimum and, do the rest in stucco, we're just asking for relief, essentially.
And I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. I think many of us in our lives, personal lives, community lives, have faced building costs, and I absolutely understand what you're saying. A little bit of background about the design guidelines. They were adopted by Cobb County, I'm gonna say 7 or 8 years ago, somewhere in that framework. And then when the city adopted its zoning ordinance, they adopted what Cobb County had put in place. And the goal of these design guidelines is to create a better Mableton going forward. And you're right that the buildings on Lions Club Drive do not meet today's design guidelines, but they predate the design guidelines. So we have many new buildings up and down Mableton Parkway and Veterans Memorial, which have been built to these new design guidelines. And I think many of us in the community are very happy to see this improved level of building quality in our community. So please, you're not being singled out. It's simply a matter of timing. Those other folks were grandfathered in, if you would. Their buildings were already built before these requirements were in place.
And what does it do to us putting a building of that magnitude into a community like that? Does it devalue our real estate? I mean, for us, if in 10 years we want to sell it, would we be able to sell that in that community?
I can't advise you at all on marketability.
Well, I'm not
of
asking
property.
for advice.
Yeah.
I'm asking for consideration when it, as Z has said, when putting it into a community of that sort. Any time you buy a house and the pricing goes on about what's on in the community, we wouldn't be able to sell the building at the full value if the community, there's not a home over probably $60,000 over there.
I think that economics is not something that the planning commission can take into consideration. But I appreciate the perspective that you're providing.
Sure.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions from any of the other commissioners?
I have one for the staff.
Yes, ma'am.
Do we have the option of waiving the architectural standards, or we don't?
I mean, you can make a recommendation. Yes, ma'am, you can do that. I mean, as a planning commission, you can make a recommendation if you want to proceed to do that and put that as a condition is to waive that.
Okay, thank you.
If I may, I would caution that you're establishing a precedent when the design guidelines are there for a reason.
Right.
So, much to Commissioner Meyer's point.
Right, and the design guidelines, especially with the newly established city of Mableton, is as Commissioner Valenzuela stated, it's one of the things that it's going to do is it's going to establish a design precedent going forward. And as Commissioner Meyer said, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on a person's vantage point, we're economics and cost and so on and so forth, that it's beyond, that's something that's beyond our consideration. Because a case can be made by any applicant to say, hey, cost is an issue or not an issue or what have you. And it's, again, especially with applications that are going to be coming forward, which we know they're going to be coming forward. The idea is to establish a certain look and feel for the newly established city of Mableton. Okay. Okay. I don't know if are there any other questions?
Well, I just do have like a follow-up. So,
Go ahead.
if I'm reading this correctly, the architectural standards for the front of the building, it's only for the front of the building that the brick has to be 75%.
As far as brick,
That's just the front of the building, right?
right?
Okay.
The way that I read it, and
That's
Mr.
how I read it.
Mr. Willer, you feel free to weigh in. I don't know, attorney present, I don't know if you want to weigh in on that, but that's the understanding based on the design guidelines.
I don't disagree.
Okay.
Okay.
And then there's other things in there like public frontage has to be, and I think this is based on what was presented, where the use, the property use, since it's a church, it's a, what is this, an exception? I can't speak. Special exception use. So it goes into several detailed points about lot size, the location or the distance of the structure, the height. For example, structures shall be limited to 55 feet in height. So all of those, as it goes all the way down to probably P, or what I think P is the last one. There's several exception use guidelines that it presents there. Again, you're talking about a public road frontage, 100 feet, so on and so forth. What is it? I want to call it the ceiling. I'm sorry, the roof being was it 12 pitch? So it's several things in there that, according to the guidelines, that any applicant, not necessarily not this applicant, but any applicant that falls within that guideline would have to follow.
And I think it appears that all of those are met just fine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay. So point of order, Mr. Wheeler, if we don't have any other questions, is there anything else that we need to do before we set a motion?
No, sir,
Or
no.
set a motion for a recommendation, I should say.
Yeah, if you have all your questions answered and there's no more discussion among the planning commissioners, then you can move forward with your motion, how you guys see fit, whoever wants to make a motion and so forth.
Okay. I did have one last question for the applicant. I apologize. I don't want to have you guys running back and forth. If you don't mind. Oh,
Did you motion to close the public hearing, sir? You did, okay. all right.
yes, I did.
Okay, all right.
So, question that I have is time frame for building, proposed start, pending that, if it's approved or whatnot, proposed start, and then how long is the build out? Is this a multi-year process? Is this 9 months or like?
Well, our timeline was 3 years ago. So,
Makes sense.
we would have to find, according to the different restrictions, now is the funding to get it done. So we're looking at probably 3 to 6 months, probably to the end of the year it takes to build something like this. I was told 18 months. So that's kind of an idea of what our timeline
Okay,
looks like.
but-
Probably look.
But for lack of a better word, you would move for immediate build out. So this is not something that's going to be delayed for 2 to 5 years, and then it's like, oh, okay, now.
Oh, no, sir.
Okay. Okay. And so relatively immediate building, let's say max roughly about 18, maybe 24 months,
Correct.
pending any delays, which probably will be some, but
Right.
that's how it happens. Okay. Any other questions? I think that's probably it for me.
I have one question for the staff.
Question for staff? And if you want to sit there just in case, I don't want you to keep going back and forth.
Mr. Wheeler, among the special exception guidelines are that in residential zoning, the minimum acreage requirement is 5 acres, and this site is less than 5 acres.
Yes, ma'am.
So by our approval, we would be granting a variance.
Tactically, you would be granting approval because we did not advertise for a variance request. There's confusion as far as if you could adapt, the council could approve a variance for zoning standards. So the applicant would be going before the Board of Zoning Appeals for that portion. But if we had advertised, then yes, you would be granting approval for that request.
Okay.
So as the council was telling me, it would have 2 hearings. So you would have the hearing on the actual rezoning and then actual variance of the request of the lot size.
Okay. So we are not going to take up the issue of the
Yes,
variance.
yes. I think it's probably maybe a little. It's a longer process, but I think it might be a little bit cleaner process until everybody gets more comfortable in their roles of how we actually go about doing that. So.
Clarification question to you, Mr. Wheeler. So, to Commissioner Meyer's point, it's saying that the acreage is 4.62
Yes,
here. Special exception use says 5.
yes.
Let's just say a recommendation for approval. Do we need to include a condition that a variance be granted because it's under?
I would say no, is because, again, I would say that because you're just proving the zoning.
Okay.
And the use itself
Changing the
is,
zoning category.
the use itself is something different because you're just proving the zoning.
Okay.
And there's multiple uses that can be happening in there. It would be easier and cleaner to allow them to go for the Board of Zoning Appeals and say, well, we want to do this use. It's allowed in this zoning category, but we need to vary just this use to allow us to really build it out. Yes, it's a longer process, but it's just an easier way to kind of make sure we get our ducks in a row being a new city.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I didn't know if it was going to be something where we needed to include that in there.
In
and
normal
whatever.
cases, yes, I would say you can always include a recommendation of saying the applicant has to go before the Board of Zoning Appeals to get a variance for the reduction, the lot size reduction. However, not to kind of to fumble our words, you can just approve the zoning and then go for the Board of Zoning Appeals concurrently once this goes through. I'm sorry, we would schedule, once this goes through, it'll be scheduled for them to be heard by the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Okay. Just thank you. I wanted to make sure that we were operating properly. Is this mine? Okay, I think this is mine. All right.
Chairman, if there's no other questions, I'm prepared to make a motion.
Okay, go ahead.
I'd like to move that we approve case Z 2025-001, 5500 Lions Club Drive and Lions Club Drive property, with the recommended conditions and approvals 1 through 9 shown in the staff report, the addition of condition 10, which would be Cobb County DOT recommendations. However, Mr. Wheeler, if we could, I'd like to edit Cobb County recommendation number 3 to remove the option to pay a fee in lieu and require or recommend construction of the curb and gutter and sidewalk along the frontage without the option to pay. And that's my motion.
Okay. So we have a motion to approve with the, was it staff recommendations 1 through 9, editing, what was it, number 3, to remove the pay and lose?
The addition of number 10, which would be Cobb County DOT recommendations with a slight edit to their 3rd recommendation.
Okay, so edit number 3, removing pay and lieu, adding number 10.
Yep.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
All right. Open it for discussion?
Thank you.
Okay,
I'd also be interested in 2 other conditions.
okay,
One of which would limit which would condition the approval based on the site plan dated March 13th, 2025, and that no expansion of the building shown on the site plan and no additional buildings would be allowed due to the limitations set by the lack of sewer. And then another one that the approval would be conditioned on
goodness.
the building architecture being substantially similar to that presented to us tonight, with modifications needed to meet the Mableton Parkway VMH architectural guidelines.
okay. So let's go back to your, because I think you have three amendments. So the first one is site plan dated March 13th, 2025. Year is important.
With no expansion.
No additional expansion. All right, and then number 2 was,
Building architecture substantially the same as presented. But modified to meet the design guidelines. The building architecture substantially the same as presented tonight,
you said, but modified.
but modified to meet the design guidelines.
And the third?
that's it.
Okay. All right, so we will amend,
I think I have to make a motion to
Oh.
amend,
go ahead.
right?
Yeah, because the motion second, and then the conditions are now added, so a motion to add those conditions to Commissioner Valzano's motion.
So I'll make a motion to add those conditions. I'll make a motion to add those conditions to Commissioner Valenzano's motion.
Name them one more time, please, for the record.
Recommend approval subject to the site plan dated March 13th, 2025. No expansion of the building shown on the site plan and no additional buildings will be permitted. The architectural design of the building will be substantially similar to that presented here at the hearing, except that it will be modified to meet the Mableton Parkway Veterans Memorial Design Guidelines.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. All right.
Technically, we have
Are
to
we,
vote to amend.
are we clear to take the vote, or?
Motion second, so yeah, motion to vote with the conditions.
Okay, so now that we have the amendments, now we'll take a vote. Make sure I say this right. We'll vote with all amendments and conditions that have been discussed here. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. None opposed, motion carries. Motion carries for recommendation for approval. And with conditions, excuse me, with the conditions that have been enumerated, sorry. All right, what's next on the agenda? Let's see.
That is the only item on the agenda. However, I would like for you guys to kind of discuss the possibility of doing a special call meeting for the next meeting, because there has been discussion regarding if you will have a quorum for the July 3rd Planning Commission meeting.
Okay, we can discuss, let me refer to the emails. I know Commissioner Valenzano, you are going to be traveling. Where did it go? I'm trying to get to this that I sent.
You need to undo the conversations.
Oh, we're still in session.
Yeah, you just say who
Where they show up as they're sent. Grouped together.
Where did it go? Oh, no, I see it. It's the July 5th PC. There we go.
If you want to, Chairman Phillip, if you can just say, Chris will send you email to let you know if we'll be available or not, that's fine. But
Okay.
I just wanted on top of mind, I didn't want to forget that because that was a conversation. So
Okay.
again, if you want to say, Chris, we'll just
Okay.
email you, let you know if that's possible or not.
Perfect. Okay, so that way we don't have to hash it out
Yeah,
here
yeah.
in public meeting. Okay, so then we will, as a PC, we will send all availability to ensure that we have a quorum. And if not, we will have to adjust the schedule to ensure that we do have a quorum.
Yes, sir.
All right, what is next?
That is everything on the agenda for tonight.
Okay, so we have covered all agenda items. Okay, can we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I'll second the motion to adjourn.
All right, motion to adjourn by Commissioner Myers, second by Commissioner Valenzano. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay? None? All right, motion carries. Meeting adjourned.